Yes, that is.
Don't mind me.
Don't mind.
All right, we are back. We have done our intros. We've said who we are. If you are watching this one if this is the first video you're watching of this series, go back to the start.
Check out the first ones. They are amazing.
Pretty good.
Chris talks all about how incredible he is as a drummer.
That's right.
So we've covered talent. We've covered gear. Just a little bit about technique. Technique, myths surrounding technique.
Technique.
Okay.
Who would like to
I guess you
take
should
the
start
floor?
this one, shouldn't you? Because
you go.
we could just
Okay.
because
You can take the floor. All right. So I think this would be probably the most common thing I get as a teacher. Which foot technique should I use? Traditional. I saw Stuart Copeland playing traditional. Should I be doing traditional? Or why do you play matched? Or, heel toe foot, or Todd Suckerman said you should sit really high and have your toms high, and all this kind of stuff, which is hilarious because I'm not a technique guy at all. And, I can honestly say that I've never really thought a lot about technique for whatever reason. It's another one of these things like talent and gear where there's no real answer to this.
No.
Now, when it comes to foot technique, what foot technique should I use? There's no answer to this. I'm not you. I don't have your feet. I don't know what song you're trying to play. I've put a foot cam on a lot of recent videos that I've done. My foot technique apparently changes constantly depending on the tempo of the song, depending on how I'm feeling, if I'm wearing shoes, if I'm wearing flip-flops.
yeah, whatever.
Are there fast doubles? So there's literally no answer to this. The answer to this is practice. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
What technique should I use? Go and practice. You'll figure it out. I had to learn My Hero. My Hero was a bit of a game changer for me because there was a song in our covers group that we decided we wanted to play, and I couldn't play it. I just point blank could not play the song. So I didn't go to technique. I knew enough at that point to not go, I need to figure out a technique for this. I just practiced.
Yep.
And then I could play the
figures it
song. And now I don't need to practice the song, but I can play it at any time, on any pedal, on any kit. That's not to blow my own trumpet, but it's just there.
It's there.
It's in
there.
the body. I know what needs to happen. And Immigrant Song was a recent cover I did, which has fast kicks, but a different type of dum dum da dum da dum that rhythm. That's a lot different to dum 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 da 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 dum. Now, neither one is easier or more
Just really quite
difficult,
different,
but they're different. I can't use the My Hero technique personally on Immigrant Song. So when someone comes to me and says, and it's constant, what's the best foot technique? How did you do that?
Yeah.
What, this and that. I'm sorry. There's no answer to this.
It's like you're trying to cheat the process.
Yeah.
Is pure and simple what it is. Like there is no foot technique, and similar to the gear stuff, there's no magical piece of gear that's instantly going to give you the chops that you hear in your head. Because even from a gear perspective, I mean, the chops that you hear in your head are great, but how do we then market this product to millions of drummers? It doesn't work. And the same thing, I guess, from a technique perspective. On the whole, I guess my take on it, all of it works.
Yeah, of course it does.
All of it works. Heel up, heel down, heel toe, swivel.
Blah, blah, blah.
You see guys that are swiveling like their feet are crazy, and then you see some guys they only got one foot going, and then you see some guys who are like have their like ankles really in. If you see Virgil play, he's got his ankles in quite far.
Quite a lot, yeah.
And he's been asked about that a lot, and it's like, I don't know, it's just how my feet
I've
go.
never thought about it.
Yeah.
Neither.
Isn't that amazing though?
Yeah.
Playing off the head, maybe that's the key. You've got to play off the head, and then that all falls apart when you see Thomas Lang play a bass drum,
Or Dennis Chambers.
Yeah.
when they're
Jeff
just
Becerra.
laying it in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, no, it's not that. So the point is, like, none of it, like, whilst it matters to a degree, but it is not the be all and end all. No. It is just a tool. I mean, in some, if talking specifically feet stuff, sometimes I'll lay into the head, sometimes I'll bring it off.
It depends on the sound you want, right?
Of course, and typically for like the faster stuff, it will come off the head. You know?
If I'm playing a bossa nova in a cafe, I'm not going boom, 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 with my heel up.
No.
You know, I'm playing heel. I never play heel down, almost. But
That's like the
I would
situation
then.
dictates.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't even think about it because I know the sound I want. I've practiced enough to know what sound I'm going to create from my body. And it's obviously not heel up.
Yeah.
No.
So
No.
I don't know. It's a really tricky one. I feel like, yeah, it is. It's people looking for a secret.
Yeah.
Or
that's-
to cut out
that's
some
all it
words.
is.
And
I
there
mean-
literally isn't. I really cringe when I see in forums, I'm going to take a shot here, but I really cringe when people will make a post about technique
Right.
or post a video of someone who's got great technique and say, that's it.
That's the one.
Or someone will ask for advice and then someone will comment with, well, Thomas Lang does this, so you should really be doing this. It's like, that's really irresponsible.
Yeah.
You know, if it's a young person or someone who's genuinely asking because they don't know, that person hasn't seen. You might have really long feet. You might be using a weird pedal. How do we know?
That's right. Yeah.
There's not enough information here to give any feedback on this.
I always like, if there's ever anyone that says something like, this is the way you do things, I say, beware. Beware of those people. Anyone that says you can only do it this way, you can only do it that way, it's like, that's not the key at all. You know. So for me, I'm big on technique. Like, as far as like, I've focused on it a lot.
Yeah,
you know,
ditto.
mainly
Huge.
for teaching. Like, and I've been thinking, well, how can I get my students to play better? But of course, I've come to the exact same conclusion that you guys have as well. That because, you know, I can't remember. That was like, I can remember seeing, like, you know, holding sticks in certain positions. You know, going, okay, well, I'm going to hold my stick. You know, don't hold your stick up too high. Don't hold your stick down too low. You know, Dave Wickle got hammered for that a long time ago with his trad grip that he used to play, and he used to hold it right at the back of the stick. Right. And then he thought that he couldn't play because everyone told him his technique was bad, and then he had to go to Freddie Gruber, and then he sorted him out, so he reckoned. But it's like, he was playing great.
Yeah.
He was playing really amazing. It's like, dude, don't change that. That's like
mean,
the Dave Wickle sound that you've got there, you know. And
that
then
stuff falls apart. Then you see Steve Gadd, who's literally right at the end of the stick, playing
exactly.
some of the most beautiful grip that you've ever heard.
Exactly. Yeah.
This is really interesting. We brought this up. So can I borrow your sticks here?
Well, they're pretty fast. Do you?
Yeah.
Mr.
Play with
Dawson.
fast sticks
So what
before?
we're talking about
Put a helmet
here
on.
is your actual fulcrum, right?
Yes.
Is what we're talking
Yep.
about. So where you actually, the pressure point, where you're holding the stick. I've noticed more and more from watching a lot of great drummers, when people are in the real flow state, they're always back here.
Further back.
Yeah.
No one would teach you that, though.
No, not at all.
Here you go. Here's how you hold your stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you're really flowing, I don't know whether it's a leverage thing, you know, and people are going to comment and say, oh, well, you need to watch this video where,
Yeah,
you know,
of
he's
course, yeah.
perfectly.
Sure, yeah.
I've seen a heap of it.
Yeah.
A heap
Tons
of it.
of it.
I've seen, I don't often see people in that real magical flow state choking the stick
No.
because there's not a lot of leverage there. But I see it slipping down a lot and never falling out, but just El Estepario Siberiano, the amazing Spanish drummer that we've all just, well, he's always down here,
Yeah. Down. Yeah.
flying around.
Yeah.
Blistering
Hitting
speed.
hard too,
Yeah.
right
Hitting
off the back end. Hitting
And that
hard.
goes against
Everything. Yeah.
everything.
Exactly. Yeah. Have you like guys been looking at Klaus Hessler at all? You checked out that guy?
No.
He's amazing.
He's amazing, yeah. So he's like, he's got this, he's going in the right direction for what I think he's doing. He's doing drum camps, and I think he's calling it open-minded drumming.
Right.
And he put on a bunch of things about fulcrums and stuff like that. He goes, because he's sort of saying, you know, you can hold your stick however you want. And if you've got it in that sweet spot, it's going to do the thing that's meant to do. And he demonstrates it by putting it in between these fingers and playing and doing this thing. He said, well, you know, you could put it here, you could put it there, you could hold it up here, you could do whatever you want. And it's wherever you feel that stick needs to be, or wherever your foot's going to be on the pedal or anything like that. Vinnie Colaiuta, another great example. The old Zildjian Day video, can you guys remember that?
Oh, yeah, killer.
When he's sitting there playing,
1984. Or
yeah,
something.
and he's like taking his glasses off and puts them on his leg, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But when he's slamming that snare drum, no rebound, smack, and it's like buried into
Keeps
that.
it in there.
Yeah, buried in there. It's like going, you're not meant to do that, and then it's going, but he's doing it, and it's like
Dennis Chambers?
Yeah.
Sounds pretty good.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's like incredible. So
Well, that's like it's a dead sound, isn't
Yeah.
it? So again, I wonder if we're coming back to this thing of they know what they need to produce
yeah,
out of themselves, out of their body, to get that sound there after.
that's right.
Now, if they're trying to go for ghosts and texture, they're not going to bury a stick or bury a kick drum, perhaps.
Yeah.
So, is there an element where you're overthinking it? I mean, you're more of a technique guy than me, that's for sure. But is there a point where you're just overthinking things? It's like, just play.
It is
Yeah.
absolutely.
Like, your body figures it out. Like, if-
We can't intellectualize
No.
this too much.
Yeah.
No.
Because there's a certain, I mean, without getting too hippie, like you end up becoming a sort of one with your sticks and with your kit where
Oh yeah,
it's like you're
Yeah, absolutely.
talking.
Absolutely.
Like you're not really thinking, when you have a conversation, I'm not thinking, oh, I need to start with a capital letter
That's
here
right.
and I'm going to talk to you and then do a paragraph
Yeah.
and then I'm going to do this. We just talk.
You just exactly.
And this is what music's like, right? It's a
It is.
conversation, it's vocab. Your vocab on the kit is never going to flow if you think, oh, I'm a bit too far back on the stick. I'm going to have to stop and readjust that. Oh, look where my foot is on the pedal.
I've been guilty of that. Like in like a thing of focusing on something too much like that. I can remember quite a few gigs that I think at one point I'd gone to see Luke Casey play.
yeah.
And he was in
Legend.
what's
player.
what's the band, the trio that he was in?
Relaxomatic.
No, before that.
Then ITV.
ITV, yeah. So ITV, and he had a mat set up, and so they're on tour, and everything was taped out, and the stands were all, at the taped at heights and all that sort of stuff. So when it got set up, it was going to be exactly in there, which is probably just as drum tech.
Yeah.
But I didn't think that. I was thinking that it's like it has to be. Exactly. And
This,
right.
this is a technique
Yeah,
thing.
this is exactly. This is what he's doing,
Chunks.
and then. So I was thinking about that, constantly thinking about I'd be playing, and then all of a sudden I'd feel tight somewhere, and as soon as you start feeling tight somewhere, you focus on it,
Oh, yeah.
and then all of a sudden you're starting to go, it's starting to seize up more. But once you forget about it, and you're just listening to the music, and we've all felt that feeling. It's like this. It's an amazing feeling when you're right in the groove, and you don't want to change anything.
No.
You're just sitting there. Maybe you're playing a beat, and you're just going, I don't even want to do a fill. I just want to.
Yeah.
It's feeling so good. I just want to play this
leave it there.
beat, and because you might sort of go out a little bit. You'll hit a tom just to experiment to see whether you've messed with the groove or not. It's like,
whether you can.
Okay, yeah, so yeah, okay, yeah, it still sounds good.
That's
all right,
all right.
now I can do this. But that. But the technique thing is meant to be something that you do in your practice room.
Yep.
You just work on. So okay, I want to work on my fast singles or something like that. But I mean, if it doesn't matter how you're holding your sticks. It's like if you practice really, really fast, or you practice, it's going to be, you have to push through, right? You have to push through. You can't go, well, I'm going to play at this very, very slow speed until I find my equilibrium.
And then this next one
Well, it's
clicks
not-
in.
Yeah, then all of a sudden
Yeah.
I go faster. You've got to go. All right,
You have to push yourself.
gotta push
if you're
it.
focusing on that real chop space
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
you have to enter a place which is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You have to stay
Oh,
there
yeah.
for a while.
exactly.
And it's like it's resistance training
Yeah.
ultimately.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, if to your point around technique is like fast singles. Yep, you can do them, and you can have beautiful French grip, and then you don't have a lot of power.
Yeah.
So what happens when you start moving them around the kit?
And your floor tom is floppy.
Floppy,
and
yeah.
nice
How does
breakdown.
how does that work? Works beautiful on the hi hat. Nice hard surface, great. But actually moving it around the kit, nah. You need some wrist happening.
Exactly.
You want a rim shot. Do you want to play sort of really staunch 32nd or 64th notes at a moderate tempo, all rim shots? You're going to use some arms. You're going to use some elbows. It's like at that point, it's like no one ever really talks about elbows
Yeah, that's
as
right.
a
Well, you're not
as a
supposed
meter
to,
of,
right?
Yeah.
No.
Like, all these rules that get put on drumming
So
and
silly.
technique, and I always hear people default to marching drummers
Yeah.
or classical, and like, well, you know, that is the technique. Not on a drum kit, it's not.
No.
You know, this on a snare and playing, you know, these perfect little flams and stuff, nothing against marching drummers, they're amazing. That doesn't work on a kit. I mean, thinking about technique as well, American, French.
Yep.
Well, again, it depends which part of the kit I'm playing. You know what? I actually need all those techniques because when I'm over here,
My hands
my
like this.
gong.
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually can't play that like this.
Yeah. That's right.
I actually need
That's right.
French
Exactly.
or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like all of your questions, I don't even know some of the terms, American, German, French. You know, there's some of those grips I don't even know. Do I use them? Of course I do. Because I'm playing on a drum kit.
That's right.
I'm just going to be doing them anyway.
Yeah. With my practice, with the technique thing, I tried to practice all the different techniques so that if I came
this
across
is so interesting that you went the total opposite route.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Because I realized that when I was teaching somebody, their hands naturally went whatever way.
A certain way, yeah.
And I was going, and I didn't want to teach them, oh, this is the way to do it. No, sorry, you have to play French grip. Because it's like your body's not like that. And I don't want you to play like that. You know, so I go, okay, and I see a student, I see the way that they're holding the sticks, and then I hold my sticks like them, and I work that way so that I can, you know, and I'll show them the speed that it can get up to, like we were talking about, because you want to demonstrate, though it is a bit show-offy, sort of, I guess, in some aspects. But
I'm always worried about that.
Yeah, it's like, am I showing off? Because oftentimes they say, you're just showing off. It's like, no,
Go. Just go sit over there for 10 minutes.
and I will just play
Just a little brief demonstration.
Yeah. Yeah, just showing off to your parents so they'll pay me a couple extra. Yeah. But yeah,
But it's
so
helpful to that point, though. I guess the counter to that, it's helpful to actually see what it becomes.
absolutely.
Because it's like, why would you bother working on this? Because you can talk, certainly if you're a new student, technique, French grip, you know, it sounds like the most boring ever.
Absolutely.
And it's like, yeah, French grip, you know, using your thumbs are on the top and you're using your fingers largely, but it becomes this. You know, that's why you do it.
That's why you do it. Yeah,
I mean,
that's right.
all of the rudiments, like 5-stroke roll sounds really stuffy, and it is stuffy, right? That's not going to set the
Wait
world
a
on
minute.
fire.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
No
okay, so
one is
5.
going to be inspired by that.
Yep.
But if you say, hey, look, let's shorten the gap between the notes.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's, you know, shorten
Now we're
that
talking.
space and speed it up and rip it on the snare, accents on the toms. Oh,
Yeah, it sounds like. And it's,
I'm going to practice that.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think so. Going back to that, you know, just trying to move with the student as well. You're just trying to get them to be comfortable. If they're comfortable, then that's great. You know, because like you know, if you play trad grip, for instance, like you'll play it, and as soon as the student comes in, they look at you. And then they put their sticks, both of them in trad, you know, and you're going, oh, no, okay. And so I always try to go, okay, I'm going to start with match, just to make sure that they, because I feel that I love trad grip, you know, I love trad grip, but I feel that if you'd never seen anyone play drums before, ever, and you picked up a couple of sticks from a tree or something to hit something, you're not going to play trad grip.
Probably wouldn't be the first, would it?
Yeah, and you'd hit it up as match grip because this is a natural way of sort of, or the way
But
that
as
you
we know, people who started with the drum on the side,
That's right.
Yeah.
that's the only way they could
It's the only
That's
way
right,
to do it.
exactly.
So the
yeah.
tradition
Yeah,
carried on.
that's where it went from. Yeah,
And it's as you said before, it works.
yeah.
This all works.
Fit for
Heel up,
purpose.
heel
Yeah,
down,
Yeah, exactly.
trad, French, German, American grip. Everything works.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys will agree with this. I think basically everything we've covered so far, like talent, gear, technique,
it seems to be
all of this
coming
works.
together
It's a-
somehow.
if you work, if you play and you really want it,
It happens.
and you're just nothing's going to stop you from playing the drums. This is all going to work, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't matter if your kit is a $25,000 DW limited edition. or you're playing traditional, or you play heel down or heel up.
Yeah.
Left-handed, right-handed.
All of that stuff's just irrelevant. I mean, like, there's plenty of people out there with $25,000 kits that they've assembled themselves and like trying to cheat or trying to find the code that's gonna make me super drummer. You know, I can't play.
Yeah, that's right.
Can't play.
Yeah, exactly.
The gear is better than your capacity or your facility.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, getting back to technique. I was largely a French grip player. You might remember this because the very first lesson that I had with him way back in the day, he goes, "Sweet as." So, you know, you got some facility. Sounds great. Can you play me a double stroke roll on the floor tom?
Oh, damn.
I'm like,
Of course I can.
of course I can.
Excuse me.
Step back.
Stand back.
Watch the fire.
And you fall apart, don't you?
Yeah.
You fall apart within 2 seconds.
So this is where all of this
Wrists.
falls apart. Like, there's no one answer to this question.
No.
What foot technique should I be using? I'm sorry, but there's no answer to that.
Yeah. Yes.
It's like it's so situational as well. Like the floor tom with French grip, like a quick double stroke roll, doesn't work.
Didn't work. Yeah.
You know, super duper spring tension and you know, real heel up and or swivel sort of technique, and you're playing.
Yeah.
Doesn't work.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. No.
Or
hasn't got that power. When you sort of, it's like you got to dig in.
I'm sure there'll be someone who'll say, "Yes, but you can make it work." It's like, yeah, you can, but it's
But then
is it
how
optimal?
how do you make it work? Practice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
that's
always going to be an
practice.
exception.
That's the secret.
Yeah. Yeah. If,
Right.
yeah.
I'll always say, you know, hey, you know, students will ask me about traditional grip at some point.
Sure.
You know, they'll find out about it, and it looks cool, right? It's quite fancy. Your hands are actually different now. You know, and where do you use traditional grip? And I'll say, you know, if I'm doing a theatre production or something, and there's like a textury type of song, I don't know, like a lazy
nice.
6/8
Yeah.
or something, and I want some nice things going on, I might actually still use it. But all that also gets blown apart when you see Stuart Copeland.
Yeah.
And he has a 2 and 4 backbeat louder than anybody.
Virgil, no,
Virgil.
It's like
Like-
that guy.
It's like he's made it his mission to keep playing trad. And it's like he'll freely say that, you know, Virgil's one of my heroes. So that's a whole other podcast. But he'd freely say that, like, this is not really the optimal way to play loudly. You know, he can do it, and obviously he does it. He's one of the best in the business as far as from a like technique perspective. But you know, you just got to see that sheer hours and determination that have
lifetime.
gone into that.
Yeah.
You know, and moving around the kit with a grip that's relatively like asymmetrical.
So you
Tough.
could look at that and go, right, let's look at Virgil. Okay, I need to play traditional. I need my kit. I need my toms, that kind of spacing. And it's like, no.
Yes,
It
you're
would-
missing the point.
No, you need to sort of go right back and look at, again, this iceberg thing of what's behind all this. You know, you could put him on a 2-piece kit. He's going to sound amazing.
Yep.
It's like, it just does not matter.
No.
He's got a comfy kit. He's got a comfy setup
Yep.
that he's evolved into. Sure.
But it's also like, don't think that he wouldn't sit in
Yeah.
at your covers gig and absolutely lay waste.
Yes.
It's just what he do. You know?
Yeah. Oh goodness.
All right.
Technique.
Well, we good?
Yeah, I think so. I
Yeah.
think,
Yeah.
yeah. Technique. If we think about that,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah. What's
just do what you can, man.
it's just,
Play.
It's just,
Play.
it's
Just
just
go
a
and play.
means. It's a means to an end.
Yeah.
It's not. There's no cheat codes. Ultimately, you know, you need to have a degree of appreciation for it all. You know, but there's no sort of quick way of getting around doing the work.
No,
No.
it's always with you.
Remember, comments. We welcome comments, feedback. Complaints go directly to Chris Dawson. His email is in the description of the video. Flood him. He will answer everything. If he doesn't, I'll tell him off.
Yeah.
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 If he doesn't,
And we'll
sound
see you on the
thrashing.
next one.